I'm going to show a fight where I win because that's where you can kind of learn the most, or at least a fight where the compositions were fair. My first composition, I went against a riposte build with really no heals or good stuns. Thus, I couldn't stop the riposte and also didn't have any damage reduction like a man-at-arms. And my second build, I fought an AoE party who did AoE bleed and blade on me, and I had no real strong heals, so once again, composition error. So these compositions you're going to see are fairly decent. From the get-go, I actually would probably have been slightly on the back burner. It's kind of tough to say because he's got 2 riposte opportunities. Theoretically a good healer. Now I got some good heals myself. He's not a strong stress damage party either, which means I can actually keep people alive fairly well. So this fight is fairly even across the board right now. And he starts off with how we would have expected, is with the riposte. Now, he riposted out of range, which means I can actually harvest the middle row. Usually, if the harvest doesn't work too well in the beginning of the game, I will battle ballad. Now he's going to get off his beast bile, which is why I harvest. I had an option of going offensive or defensive. Well, actually, both are offensive, but one's cooking now, one's cooking later. My main priority is going to be essentially to try to chip down this man-at-arms. He's going to be the one who commands ramparts, and he was very nice. He wasn't a bellowing man-at-arms, and it would have been annoying, but I don't know if I would have lost. Another big problem with my build is, and I changed this in the next fight, is I don't actually have sniper fire on. I took off the suppressing fire now because of that reason, but that was a small error tactically, so if you're going to borrow this composition, do not put on suppressing fire. The rest of these people don't do stress in the back row. Make sure it's sniper. So now I have a chance to Holy Lance, and once again, we're going to focus the man-at-arms. We're just trying to get him real low, so we can essentially drop a finale on him. So I'm not really sure why he decides to Vendetta the Arbalist here. I think there's other individuals he probably could have reduced accuracy on, but however, he's got his riposte to massive strength now, but we do want to actually try to stun him. And I do try to stun the man-at-arms. I believe at the moment that was a misclick, where actually I wanted to stun him so he couldn't do anything else. Either way, I'm not sure which one would have been the best choice there. With such a strong riposte option in the front, oh, I know why I did it. I wanted to drop a finale on him. And right here, I should have picked finale. I'm not sure why I didn't. There really wasn't any good skill or point to picking the Arbalist. I actually took more damage, stress, and DOT for not, and now he's going to get the man-at-arms saved. So it's actually a pretty big issue right there. 72 crit, like I said, sometimes RNG just massively favors you. That could have easily have been like a 20 or 30. I mean, so right now, I'm in a big issue right now because I pretty much failed my finale target, and that's a huge deal. When you bring a Jester, you want to get an early finale, you want to kill someone right off the bat. Now it's got all 3 riposte up, and whomever I decide to attack is going to blight me. So I picked the worst damage dealer / accuracy dealer within the abomination itself. The point blanks don't really matter. He could have sent me for 108 crit. As long as I give this dude pretty much 8 to 10 HP, he's actually going to be okay. He has no real strong damage outside of the highwayman. So what we're going to try to do here is actually burst down that highwayman now. As you can see, we've brought down that riposte. He's had the point blank and vendetta, so he actually kind of messed up there, and he no longer has an ability to riposte, which you'll just see me hit him with the leper, the crusader, and anyone else I pretty much need to. Now, fortunately, this is a crit. He's actually in finale range right now, and I believe what I do is actually finale him. I'm trying to remember this fight, but I could Holy Lance him to Death's Door and then harvest. I could do that. It's always an option. I believe he manacles. Yeah, he manacles here. But I think I say up, I dodge it. So a little bit of RNG. The accuracy on the abomination, though, isn't necessarily the greatest. I'd have to double check his trinkets. He might have had better ones, but I did have, I believe, 40 dodge at the moment. So even if it was 110, it was a 30% chance to miss. Pretty low, but not out of this world to not get a dodge for me personally. Pretty much by killing the highwaymen or the man-at-arms, I was going to either neuter this party in terms of HP, command, and protection, or literally the rest of their damage. So the rest of this fight is going to be a very slow bleed out. You're going to see me not really respect this party too much. I'm just going to be healing. I'm going to be AoE hitting. It's going to be a very, very slow bleed out, because at this point, if I can just keep my heroes alive, there's no real strong stress damage coming in. The abomination is the best one for stress damage, and even then, it's not that great if I decide to not activate his riposte. Now, crits for 25 and 18 stress each, respectively. Yeah, that's going to start to hurt. But what we can do here is purge, bring all the bodies forward, and now we're always going to have 2 people we can hit. It's going to be the 2 riposte individuals with Syl. That's a Zealous. That can be a Hugh. And then if he protects the Occultist, we can actually harvest the Occultist and the Man-at-Arms at the same time. And let me just say one thing. This dude's Occultist heals were out of this world this game. I think eventually he hits like a 5 or something. But yeah, this dude was popping off on the Occultist. It was pretty brutal. But as you see right there, I do stun that guy. He now loses his Manacles, a Transform, and another AoE riposte. So now I can Hue, now I can Zealous Accusation, yada 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 yada. I'm just going to decide to Bola right there, just get some chip damage in. I want to bring down this Abomination pretty low. I can Dirk Stab or Harvest, decide to Harvest, because once again there's no riposte up on the Man-at-Arms, and it was my best chance to get some bleed in there. I'm really sad I didn't get bleed on that guy. It was a 65% chance, but he gets his riposte back up, and now we need to look into Dirk Stabbing through the protection of the what's his name, through the protection of the Man-at-Arms. So I decide to chop here. Just like I said, I'm gonna force the Abomination and the Occultist. I'm gonna force 2 individuals to essentially just heal. This allows me 3 other attacks to either heal, sustain, get through guards, and also do stuns. So by forcing 2 people, essentially, I can get very good results. I do decide to take this person to death's door, because there's really no negativity. Now, I could have riposted and died, but I'm just going to heal. And that's where Sniper Fire, once again, would have been, well, in this situation, I would have been on death's door and would have shot against a riposte regardless. But in a situation where someone's not protected, it's good to pick that. I try for a second stun, just essentially to get him within DOT range. Doesn't necessarily do anything, but if he does decide to pick the Abomination first, he's gonna go to death's door. And I just stab him anyways, just to really drive home the point. I don't even want you to feel safe at all. Like, you can pick the Occultist first turn. I want him to pick the Abomination. I either want him to say Absolution, which I believe is his last one, or he would have transformed and taken a Hue or a chop to the face. I was gonna Hue right there, and I did, because now I have him on such low HP all the time. I don't need a direct chop. I can chip at the Man-at-Arms. The Leopard has so much HP, I don't necessarily care if he does that. And once again, another 25. This dude is just brutalizing me in terms of Cultist heal. If that was like a 10 or 12, I wouldn't have to like kind of rethink what I want to do. And I do need to watch out how many times I do actually walk straight into riposte. And as you can see here, I'm low on the Crusader, so I say, you know what, not today. Just don't freak out, take things slow, heal up. You got Harvest on the Jester. You can always bandage. There's so many ways for me to live through this fight that is just ridiculous. Eventually, I will harvest through the HP of the Occultist and Man-at-Arms. I will eventually get a chance to Zealous. So when you're in the Butchers and you have the lead, you just kind of have to figure out where your best win percentage is. Like, I could go out all stupid aggressive, but I'm not going to, because that's how I lose. That's how I get riposte to death into like a double rake or into a mark for 40 stress, and then all my people get affliction. That is the skill I wanted to use, even though the affliction activated it. Sad miss onto the Occultist. Would have been really nice to have him get another 6 DOT as well. That's 12 HP each character would lose across 2 rounds. But now it's only going to be 6 onto the Man-at-Arms, I believe. It was a good transform. I really thought, well, actually in this situation, this party, I think I had the 30% move resist on. So I believe my Leper was essentially rock, and he wasn't going to move him. And as you can see here, I'm picking the safe option. I'm like, well, my Arbalest can't do much other than heal, so I might as well just heal. There's really nothing else she can do. And now, once again, he's got no damage. He either has to heal, use the Embrace, in which he's going to heal. And right there, another 26 HP heal. Like I said, he was just... oh, he was relentless in those heal abilities. So, it was pretty brutal. This would have ended earlier. I go, okay, you know what? I'm going to go through the guard with the Dirk Stab. And then I missed, because I didn't want to take a riposte. I thought I could stab him, get him maybe, you know, with a 2 Blight DOT, stab him for 6, you know, have him around 4 HP, make him heal himself. Unfortunately, that 34% chance went his way, but I can heal. Once again, his riposte went down, the Abomination slow in the front. Now we can Holy Lance as well, so now we can really bring it onto the Man-at-Arms again. So you may have gotten that nice 26 HP, but he's going to be down to 19, I believe, next turn. Abomination at 0, no Absolutions left. I think he untransforms and goes for a stun. I believe he might. No. He does decide to rake, which I think was probably his better choice. And here you're just going to see me go for a Zealous, because the death blow chance on the Crusader with the 10% is good. Would have added more stress. I get to hit the Man-at-Arms as well, and now I have him down to 13 HP, and pretty much this is where things just end. Because eventually, once I stop messing around, I will be able to get my Leopard to the front row, we'll be able to purge, and I do believe that's where this specific fight ends. Once again, I try for that Dirk Stab, just get through the guard and protection. Just wasn't worth it. And finally, he gets to 7, and that's kind of like the last hurrah. His big old, like, 30 heal bombs are over. But I'm still not even going aggressive. I'm just saying, you know what, if I just take my time, heal everybody, move them in the right position, we're going to be perfectly okay. So we're back to this guy. He can either pull, which he does decide to pull. It keeps the leper away for another turn. I do resist, which I, in a way, didn't want him to, because I actually wanted the Jester to use a Harvest. But moving him back also works just as well, because now I can slam the front body with Purge, and I'll get both of them into Hue range, Zealous Accusation range, Dirk Stab, and then Bandage Heals, and this fight would theoretically be over. However, we all know it's definitely well over before that, because like I said, I believe right at the Purge here he leaves. He understands that he is now simply outclassed. He can no longer protect the Occultist and the Man-at-Arms in the same turn, so he's just essentially screwed. He's not going to have enough stress damage or physical damage to get through the massive amounts of HP and healing I can do, and the logical choice is to surrender. I hope some of that made sense. I was talking pretty quick, but I want to show you how you can manipulate lineups. Thank you for watching.